My name is Ryan Smilenick,
I'm Luke.
and we are joined today by our dearest friend, Jessica Burke. Today, we are talking to you about,
Triceps surae.
as well as the Achilles tendon. Enjoy.
So we're going to talk about the triceps surae group. The tricep in that name means 3 heads, and surae means of the calf. There's 2 muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. The gastroc has 2 heads, the medial and lateral, and the soleus has a single head. And both muscles join together at the Achilles tendon, and they insert on the calcaneal bone of the foot.
All right, so the first muscle in the triceps surae that we'll talk about is the gastrocnemius, and this is the muscle that has 2 heads, so it has a medial head and a lateral head. And each head originates on the condyle respective to their side, as well as the area just above the condyle. And both heads come down and join in the Achilles tendon to insert on the posterior aspect of the calcaneus. And the gastroc provides the action of foot plantar flexion at the talocrural joint, as well as knee flexion. And the entire muscle is innervated by the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve, and it is the most superficial muscle on the posterior calf. So the next muscle in the triceps surae is the soleus or soleus, and it originates on the proximal half of the posterior surface of the tibia along the soleal line, as well as the proximal 1/3 of the posterior fibula. This muscle also inserts on the Achilles tendon down to the posterior calcaneus. The action of the soleus is only foot plantar flexion at the talocrural joint and not knee flexion, as was with the gastrocnemius. And this muscle is also innervated by the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve, and this muscle lies deep to the gastrocnemius on the posterior calf. All right, so starting superficially on the back of the calf, we will have the medial origin of the gastrocnemius, and then the lateral origin will be out here, and they will both come down and insert on the calcaneus via the Achilles tendon. And moving deep from there, we have the lateral insertion of the soleus and then the medial insertion of the soleus along the tibia. And again, both of those will come down and insert with the gastroc on the Achilles tendon into the calcaneus.
So now we're going to talk about why the Achilles tendon got its name. So there is a story in the book of Iliad about a warrior named Achilles, and he got this phrase named after him, Achilles' heel, because when he was born, he was dipped in the river Styx by his mother, a sea nymph, and this caused him to become invulnerable in every part of his body except his heel. And this plays a big factor in his life when he gets in the Trojan War and he fights a warrior named Paris, and Paris shoots him in the foot exactly on his Achilles tendon, and this causes him to die. And basically, Achilles heel means when someone finds your one weakness and exploits it. So,
Wow, everybody, wasn't that some fascinating, interesting information? I bet you didn't know that. Let's move on to some common Achilles tendon injuries. Right, everybody?
woo!
All right, let's do it. Well, the first one we're going to talk about is an Achilles tendon tear. This can happen either with tiny micro tears or much larger tears. Of course, you're going to get some pain, swelling, and impaired movement with that. This could occur suddenly during an activity, or it can happen over time. Next one we're talking about here is the big boy, the bad one. We got it up in the corner there. That's a rupture of the Achilles tendon. This will hear a big old pop sometimes, followed by pain and swelling in the lower leg. Treating this is very, very difficult. You're going to need surgery. It's going to need to be immobilized for a very long time. Don't let this happen to you. Last one we'll talk about here is the Achilles tendonitis. If you are familiar with the suffix, prefix, suffix, itis, you'll know that it means inflammation. Inflammation at the Achilles tendon can be caused by frequent activity such as running or walking, and can gradually inflame the Achilles tendon over time, causing pain and stiffness in the back of the heel. Best thing for this is rest, ice, stretching. This could help the healing process in the long run. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Here we can see Ryan is performing plantar flexion at the ankle joint, and in this version, with his knees extended, he's using both muscles of the triceps surae, the gastrocnemius, as well as the soleus. And now if he were to bend his knees slightly, this will create active insufficiency of the gastrocnemius because of the way it crosses that knee joint, and now he will be using only his soleus to create this motion at the ankle joint.